Welcome to the official Survivor Second Chance 2 reveal. Today we are talking about all the players that you voted for over the past 4 weeks to make it onto the season. Here are the players that made it on the ballot. Let me know in the comments down below who you wanted to see on Survivor Second Chance 2, as we are starting with some fan favorites.
Wow, I see the looks on the faces. I empathize with the pain and the anticipation you're feeling.
Natalie Bolton and Dominic Abate, both considered old school or in the old era for how we are breaking the season down. I'll say at least one of you is making it onto the season. Let's chat with Natalie first. And Natalie, the fans absolutely fell in love with you the first time you played Survivor, all the way back in 2008 with Survivor Fans vs. Favorites. Part of the infamous Black Widow Brigade, you made it to the final 4. And we also almost brought you back for Survivor Heroes vs. Villains, but unfortunately you didn't make the final cut there. And then we have the second place finisher from Survivor Ghost Island. Dom, some would argue you are the best player to never win Survivor. And it's for good reason. The first time and the only time in Survivor history, the final jury vote to determine the winner of the season was a tie, making you the person that might deserve a second chance the most. Let's roll the clip.
For the first time in 36 seasons of Survivor, we have a tie.
Well, I bet both of you have been waiting a long time for this moment. Dom, Natalie, you both are getting a second chance at Survivor. Go get on the bus. Alright, our Survivor Second Chance 2 voting is complete. It's time to reveal who made it on the dream cast of Survivor. Second Chance 2, New Era versus the Old School. These were your votes. The voting is complete. Over thousands of votes were cast, and it's time from season 1 to season 45. Who made it on the season?
Survivor is the most physically demanding and emotionally taxing game on television.
Today we are tackling the players from season 1 to season 39 and see who has a spot on our bus going to Fiji. As we literally have a bus waiting outside right now for these players to head to the airport and go play Survivor. I'm definitely not recording this in my house.
Reward is grand, $1 million and a high that may never be repeated. But for those who lose,
Did Wu make a $1 million mistake?
Before we do this, I just gotta say the fact that all 20 of you showed up to do this today when you all know only half of you will get to go play Survivor. It speaks volumes to the motivation and the dedication it takes to play Survivor. Half of you won't get a chance to play today, but you might get a chance to play in the future. Let's go do this.
the consequence is often a relentless nightmare of what ifs that never ends. Until now.
Look what we have here, a group of 4 Survivor players. But not just ordinary Survivor players, we have some top tier characters all sitting side by side together. I will be telling you right now, not all of you will be getting your second chance, as some of you didn't receive enough votes from the fans. However, it shows the massive, overwhelming success of our 37th season, Survivor David vs. Goliath, that we decided to put 4 of you from that season on the ballot. And honestly, the producers debated putting more of your cast members on the ballot as well. Starting with Angelina Keeley, you gave us some of the best character moments in Survivor history and finished as a 0 vote finalist. Davey and Christian, we loved watching you play together on the David's Tribe, and it was so difficult watching you both get voted out in back-to-back tribal councils. And then we have Christian's partner in crime with Gabby. Interestingly enough, you tried to turn on your ally Christian, and it backfired on you. Not all of you will be getting your second chance, but with receiving the most votes, Angelina, you will be going to play Survivor. Gabby, you were infamous for shedding some tears and crying on national television. Hopefully you won't start crying here, but sadly you will not be getting your second chance. And the producers were worried about putting both Davey and Christian on the ballot, but the fans were 100% there for both of you, as you both will be getting your second chance. Go get on the bus. Hey, what's up? Welcome back to the legendary Survivor Second Chance 2 series. series as the Survivor Specialist and Russell Muscle TV collab together. I'm not gonna lie, this has been one of the funnest moments I've had on YouTube. Throughout the past 4 weeks, we've had over 8 hours of debates on who should be included on the Survivor Second Chances ballot. After our debates were complete and we decided the ballot of 10 new era men, 10 new era women, 10 old school men, and 10 old school women, we then turned to all of you to vote for 5 people in that group that you wanted to see return for Survivor Second Chances 2, new era versus old school. And although you didn't disappoint with all these amazing votes, I gotta say I read all your comments. For this series, we decided to make old school determined by all pre-winners at war seasons. That means we had so many players to choose from with the old school ballot from season 1 to season 39. Last week, we already announced the new era group of players that you voted for to make it on the season, so if you missed that, make sure to go check it out when this video is finished. And subscribe to the channel, as next week we'll be doing a live simulation brantsteele to determine the winner of the season. But first, today we'll be going through the old school ballot that started at 20 people, and we will narrow it down to 5 men and 5 women with all of your votes. And talking about votes, let's get into the people with the most social media clout in the ballot.
Bryce, the tribe has spoken. Time for you to go.
If we are talking the Survivor Second Chance fan voting, we also need to talk about some of the most popular Survivor players on social media. Seeing how this is a fan vote for who makes it onto the season, it is no surprise that we are including Bryce Isaiah from Survivor Cagayan and Lauren Ashley Beck from Survivor Island of the Idols onto the Second Chance ballot. Speaking of pure popularity, Lauren was one of the biggest players to come out of Survivor Island of the Idols, and she used that popularity to springboard her social media accounts to over 500,000 followers on TikTok. And then there's the purple pants man with Bryce Isaiah. Although this dude was one of the first people voted out in Survivor Cagayan, the producers saw something special in him, and he used his personality to host amazing Survivor watch parties across North America. It was a shock to everyone after the votes came in, but your popularity outside of Survivor didn't help you get the votes. Unfortunately, neither of you will be getting a second chance.
What is the most ridiculous reality TV moment that you've ever seen? I'll go first.
Moving into one of the most popular players from one of my favorite seasons with Survivor Edge of Extinction, we have Lauren O'Connell. Maybe the case was the fans didn't have enough room to vote for 2 different Laurens to be on the season. As the votes were coming in every day, I was hoping that you were going to be getting the votes to be on the season, as the second chance theme fits so perfectly with your first Survivor experience. Being on the underdog tribe, having a hidden immunity idol, but giving it away to a person that returned into the game. As we were putting the ballot together for this group of players, we always knew Lauren O'Connell would be included.
With Lauren O'Connell, the Lesu 4 is so unbelievably popular. Her relationship with Kelly Wentworth was great. It was fun to watch her and Rick Devens kind of have to work together, even though they didn't necessarily love each other. And then Rick Devens goes home and they bring her back in. Lauren was very popular with younger Survivor fans, and I think she has a lot of game in her. And she was totally screwed by the fact that she had an idol, and the person returning from the game was allowed to know that she had an idol because everybody on Edge of Extinction knew that. That's just such a nonsensical thing that it's hard not to feel bad for Lauren. Lauren deserves second chance. I think she's going to get the most votes. That's my prediction. Lauren will get the most votes out of anybody that we put on this ballot.
I will tell you, Lauren, the votes were close, and you and another player were fighting back and forth for the final spot on the season, and only 7 votes separated the 2 of you. However, good news for you, you are getting your second chance. Next up, we have the clear-cut definition of what old school Survivor looks like, and obviously the Survivor superfans watching at home understand why we are pairing the 2 of you together right here. The both of you are the farthest away from Survivor of anyone on the ballot, and honestly, anyone we considered for the ballot. With T-Bird last playing in Survivor Season 3, Africa, and Sean Rector last playing in Survivor Season 4, Marquesas. T-Bird, what makes you so interesting here is that you were included on the original ballot for the first time we did Survivor Second Chances. However, you did not receive the votes to get on the season.
One of you will get a second shot. 2 of you will not. T-Bird, you will not get a shot. I'm sorry.
The good news is the fans were on your side this time and you did receive the votes to make it onto the season. And now with Sean, you sit in a very interesting place in the Survivor community, as you 100% should have been brought back to play this game already. Sadly, we could never find the right fit. We were hoping that putting you on the ballot here would be the right fit, and we really wanted some old school Survivor representation. Good news, go get on the bus, you made it. Next up, and I am sorry you are sitting all alone, we have from Survivor Island of the Idols, Jeanette Carbon. We thought it would be fitting to have you sit alone, Janet, as your game really was the definition of what we think deserves a second chance at Survivor. First of all, you were a fan favorite on your season, which always helped with the fan voting involved, but you were also screwed over by the idol nullifier we put into the game.
This is a hidden immunity idol, and this is the idol nullifier. Janet, your idol has no power.
Janet, it was the biggest surprise of everyone on the Survivor second chance ballot. Sadly, you did not receive the votes to get on and will not be getting your second chance today. At first glance, the casual fans might not be able to see what all three of you have in common, and I will tell you right now, some of you will not be getting your second chance today. Starting with Ken from Survivor Gabon, you are someone the fans have wanted to see return for a long time. And sitting next to you, we have Josh from Survivor San Juan del Sur. This was the second time we did blood versus water, and we all wonder how you would do at Survivor playing the game without a loved one. And lastly, from Survivor Co Wrong, we have the definition of a villain that showed some strategic gameplay with Kyle Jason. The producers were pumped to include all three of you on the ballot and to hopefully see you get your second chances at the game. But I have bad news. None of you will be getting your second chance today. I will tell you, Kellen, you were a surprising one for us as we were coming together and thinking of who we thought most deserved to be on the Survivor second chance ballot. We had some producers not really understanding how you would fit in the ballot and the theming of the season, but good news for you is that one of the producers is in love with you and fought hard to give you a chance to get on the ballot.
Kellen.
Yeah.
Need to see Kellen again. I would go straight to the ballot.
I'm not going straight to the ballot on Kellen. We got to talk more about Kellen. Russell, what do you think about Kellen?
That's fine with me.
I remember, so long ago when we were talking about the new era woman, there was someone who kept saying, this is just Kellen. And I kept saying, when there came time to talk about the old school woman, I would shut Kellen down right away. So I'm fine for a table for now, but I definitely might be in our near future.
I love that.
Coming from Survivor Ghost Island, the fans sadly did not see it the same way, and you were not able to reverse the curse, as you received the least amount of votes on the ballot out of everyone we included. Here we go, we have 2 ladies left, and we only have 1 female spot left on Survivor Second Chances 2, both making it near the end of the game. Sydney from Survivor Co Wrong, you made it to the final 4 before we had the final 4 fire making challenge. And Chrissy, you were the runner-up of Survivor Heroes versus Healers versus Hustlers, and that was the very first season we introduced the fire making challenge. Honestly, I wish both of you would be getting your second chance, but only one of you received the votes from the fans. I am sorry, Chrissy, you did not get the votes, but we still want to see you come back to Survivor one day. Go get on the bus, Sydney. Last but not least, we have 2 dudes, and we only have enough space for 1 more male on Survivor Second Chances 2, and there's 2 different reasons for being on this ballot. Rick, some would argue you already got your second chance with earning your way back into the game with the Edge of Extinction, but there was simply no way we couldn't leave you off the ballot. And Dean, we really thought you came into your own player near the end of the game, really figuring out what it means to play Survivor. Dean, your second chance will not be happening today. Congratulations, Rick. Good luck on Survivor Second Chances 2. Get up there. There they are, the second chancers that will be competing on Survivor Second Chance 2. These are your old school Survivor players that will be competing on Survivor New Era versus the old school.
It's like, I think you always go into it with these expectations of like, press the reset button and everything's gonna but in reality, life don't really work that way.
They are heading to Fiji right now, where it's promised to be one of the deadliest and most cutthroat games in Survivor history. Let's get on the bus and head to Fiji. Remember to subscribe to help me reach my goal of passing Russell Hanson subscribers. Click right here to check out the Survivor Second Chance's new era tribe reveal. And if you're watching this video when it first came out, head over to the Survivor Specialist at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on February 12th to check out our reaction to this tribe live.